So we all know how important lighting is when recording video. So in this video, I would like to show you this. This is the Elgato Key Light, and like many people, I have two of them. So I'd like to do a review of these lights. I've been using them for a little over 6 months now. And I want to do the review backwards. I want to talk about some things I don't like about this, and then I want to do a very crude, this is why I've got the camera here, a very crude direct look at it so that I can show you it working. Before I do that, I just want to quickly jump over to the browser and just to give you an idea as to what this is all about. So this is the Key Light. Since this came out last year in January 2019, they have released another version, the Key Light Air, which is like a different kind of, it's not as powerful, but it's on a little separate stand. I've got the original Key Light, and it's a really good light, very bright. It's really marketed towards streamers, game streamers, live streamers, but you can use it in a number of different ways. You can see there you can control it with the Stream Deck, which is something I have as well. And you can bend it around, it's quite flexible. And it says there, puts softboxes to shame. I would actually agree with that. Softboxes are something I used a few years ago, but they're really big, really bulky. So you can control the lighting on your computer via an app, or you can control it via an app on your phone. But you do have to rely on Wi-Fi. And yeah, that should give you an understanding as to what this is all about. You've got a general understanding of it. So, like I said, this came out in January 2019. I picked it up in November 2019, and I started using them as my main lights in this remote part of my lighting setup. And it replaced this lighting setup here. I've got two of these, the other one's downstairs. So I'll talk about some negatives because, well, it's important to talk about some negatives because when this product came out, when the Elgato Key Light came out, they very aggressively sent this out to very popular YouTubers. Not myself. I don't have a big YouTube channel, but they sent it out to YouTubers with, you know, hundreds of thousands or even millions of subscribers. And if you look at those reviews, and most of those reviews are still top of the search results, most of those reviews are overwhelmingly positive. There's very few negative points being raised in those reviews. There's very little criticism. And that makes sense because the majority of those people got those items sent for free, so they didn't have to go out and spend money on it. So yes, of course they're not going to criticise it. They got something free, and this is, I will say, it is overall a great product. But there are a lot of things that someone who buys it would maybe be a little bit more critical of. The first one being price. So if I jump back over to my browser, you can see right now here in the UK it's £189 for one light. In the USA, it's not in stock here right now, but in the USA it's about $199, so $200, £190 in the UK. So that is not cheap. Right off the bat, that's a negative because these are not top of the range professional level lights. These are consumer level lights really, or for YouTubers. They're not, basically they're quite cheap lights. That's what I'm trying to say. And to demonstrate that, I can really show you these lights. Now, these are the lights that I was using previously, and these replaced, if I can get them on light, come on. Now, these lights are, you know, these are quite common on Amazon. You'll see you'll see a lot of variations of these kinds of lights. Now, these are not perfect. I'm not saying they are, but from a lighting perspective, from a, you know, the amount of brightness that these provide, and just, you know, as far as a filming point of view goes, these are just as good as the Elgato Key Light. But the difference is you can pick up two of these with the stand, with everything, and you've got a little bit more controls at the back there without having to use the app or Wi-Fi. You can pick those up for like 125 for two, 140 for two. The prices do go up and down, whereas the Elgato Key Lights don't really go on sale much. But what I'm trying to point out is that one of these lights is more expensive than two of those, despite not really providing any improvement from a lighting point of view. So those are more than twice as expensive. That's one thing that's a negative off the bat, and something which I think other people aren't really pointing out as much as they should do. Now, the other thing is the stand. Now, I really do like the stand. It's like a tabletop stand, and the idea is it attaches to your desk. Now, this is both a positive and it's a negative. The positive being you've only got so much room in your recording setup. Most people, unless you've got a huge area to record, and I think most people are like me, you're using a spare bedroom to record or to do your live streams, to do your videos, and this is ideal. It saves a lot of space. Before I got those lights, the LCD lights behind there, I was using softboxes, which were huge, and then I went to that, but they still, those LCD lights still took up a lot of room. In comparison, these Elgato lights, these key lights are fantastic. They do save a huge amount of room because they just sit on my desk and the stand goes up and down. Now, as I said, I will crudely show you this in the camera soon. Now, as I said, it's a positive, but it's also a negative. It's also a negative because it means that they're less versatile. Those lights there are fixed. They're pretty much fixed to my desk all of the time. Now, I guess I could take them downstairs and connect them to like a table or something, but really once you've got it set up, they'll just stay in your recording setup. Now that's different to that. I can use these in the kitchen, in the living room, outside. It's got a provided stand, you can use it anywhere. Now, I will counter that by saying that you could technically use that stand with the Elgato lights, but you would have to go out and then buy those additional stands. But yeah, the desk thing, it stands up like that, it goes on, and then the lights are there. It's a good thing and a bad thing because it's great for what they are and that's what they're designed for, but be aware that if you are only looking to buy one pair of lights or one light, given the price of these, if you're only looking to buy one light, you are kind of restricting what you can do with that light. Whereas with something like this, you can turn it on and you can use it in a variety of different situations. So those are arguably more versatile. Now, the other great thing about the key light is also a positive and a negative. And it's also another thing that I think a lot of people aren't really talking about as much as they should. So the big selling point of this, in addition to, not taking up a lot of room, being bright, but not taking up a lot of room in your desk, the other selling point about these is that you can control these via your Stream Deck, you can control these via your computer. And I can show you that just now. Like I click on there, I can turn my light on. That's the lights off. I can turn the light all the way up. I mean, look at how bright that is. It's super bright. I can bring it all the way down. I really have these normally at 3%. Now that's great. Being able to control it like that is great. The downside to that is when my Wi-Fi has any problems with the router, I can't use these lights. I have to manually switch them on and it'll go back to the previous setting, but I can't control them anymore because these rely on Wi-Fi. Without Wi-Fi, I can't use those lights. Now, there has been a few situations where my internet went down, where my router wasn't working properly, and I couldn't use those lights. Again, that's where the older lights like that, they'll work no problems, but this one, you need Wi-Fi. Now, the other problem I would say about that is the actual Elgato light app that you use. It's quite good. It really is quite good and it works really well. But the Stream Deck is still something that every so often you need to sign in again. Every so often it just doesn't connect. I need to pull the USB cable, the power cable here. I need to put it in and out for it to work correctly. This is more of a criticism of the Stream Deck in that every so often I need to, connect it in and out. It just takes a little bit more to set up because you need to connect the Stream Deck. That's more of a criticism of the Stream Deck, but the Stream Deck is something that you should really get if you want to get the most out of these Elgato lights because it just makes it so easy to put, lights on and off. And that really is one of the best things about this. These things are expensive and they're not versatile, but being able to control lights at your desk when, there are occasions when this messes up, but on the for the most part, being able to control your lights at the click of a button saves you so much hassle because with these lights I had to switch it manually on and off. Now, I've talked about most of the kind of negative things. There are a few other points I'll point out later. One of the main thing being that the quality of the tripod thread at the top is very, very poor in my opinion. But the actual clamp is fantastic. So yeah, I've got some of the negatives out of the way. What I want to do is just quickly show you this. Now, I unboxed this months ago. I actually recorded it at the time. And what I would say about the whole unboxing experience is that it's fantastic. It really is good. Elgato have done a fantastic job, an absolute fantastic job with the presentation of this, with setting it up. When you first get it, you get this huge set up your key light thing here, and you just follow this guide and it tells you exactly what to do. Elgato have done a fantastic job there. They really have done a fantastic job. Kudos to them. It's a little bit different, and I'm so used to having a paper manual, but this is absolutely fantastic. It works well, and yeah, it just sits in the box like that. But the whole unboxing experience is really good. I would definitely give them some kudos on that. So this is the back of the box, premium lighting, and you can see how they've got it set up here. Mac, Windows, made for iPhone, iPod. You do need Wi-Fi, and this is the application here that you need to use on your computer. And there's some other specs there, 2.4 gigahertz for the Wi-Fi and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of information there. I'll leave a link to the website. You can get all that kind of information from the website as well. But again, the whole presentation, the whole thing about installing, setting up, unboxing, I think Elgato have done a really good job there. So if I turn this camera on, so here I go. I had a minor problem there where I had to disable a setting in the camera because it was switching it off. But here I am, and this is my setup, my recording setup. So on the left-hand side here, you can see the first Elgato Key Light, towering a little bit higher than my Samsung monitor. In the middle, I've got my Sony A6500, and I've got a ring light. That's probably the brightest out of the three lights I've got. That's the one that faces me. And at the right-hand side there, I have the other Elgato Key Light. Now, down in the middle, I've got the Stream Deck, and obviously this is not a review of the Stream Deck. I've did a review of that before, but it is important to really mention this because this is an important part of the Elgato Key Light experience. You can use it with your phone, etc., but I think the app really does make it easier to work with the Key Light. Now, I've got the Stream Deck set up here in a number of different ways. You know, I've got, if I select that, goes to the main camera. I've got it that I can switch to the browser like that. I've not set up a button for the second camera here as yet, but yeah, that kind of indicates how it works with the Stream Deck. You can do a lot of cool things with it. And if I push this folder, it's kind of hard with the lights here just now, but if I get in focus, you can see I can turn the lights on and off. And there I've got up and down, and then I've got like 3150 Kelvin. It's kind of hard to catch that just now. In fact, to help show you that, does that help putting the lights up? So you can see I've got up and down, and then that actually 3150 Kelvin. And then I've got 16%. So I can change it down to 16% there. I can turn it off. That doesn't do anything because it's switched off. And then, yeah, you can just switch them on and off very easily. And if I go up here, you can see, you know, all of this is just coming from me just pushing these buttons. So that integration is fantastic. It really is fantastic. Now, all of this is controlled as well via your desktop. And if you see down here, Elgato Control Center. So if I double click that and, oh, there we go. So I've got both lights there, and you can add as many key lights as you want, add a reveal accessory. This one here will set your color temperature, 3200, and this one here is your brightness. And you can kind of see there, I've got it set up as left and right. So for example, this one I've got 3200, but I'm going to slide that down and it goes to 7000 Kelvin and it goes to 2900. So I'll just show you that again. That's 2900 all the way to a cool white. So the range is really good. The range is really good. As I said, I've normally got it 3200 Kelvin. That's kind of the temperature that I've got it set at. And there I've got the brightness, 3%. And, you know, I could go all the way up to 100%. It'll be super bright. I'll bring it back down to 3%. There's some other things here as well. You can see the Elgato Key Light. You can change the name of it and different things. And there's the accessories there, that's for updates. So there's a few different things there, but I mean, it relatively is very straightforward to use. It's a very simple application to use, but it ties in really well with the Elgato Key Light, and it ties in really well with the Stream Deck as well. It's all really well. And as you saw with the buttons there, all the changes that I changed there will be reflected on that application up there. So we've got that set up. We've got that set up now, and you should have a better understanding as to how the Stream Deck ties up with it. But I just want to do a quick close-up of this one here, this one to the side of me here. So if I jump over, I'll show you a little bit of a close-up of the actual, there it's there. That's the Elgato stand. This stand is really good. Now if I get that camera out of the way, you can see the Elgato Key Light here, this branding here. You can tighten it up here, and this will fit most desks. And this stand, you can see I'm running my fingers up there, it works really well, and you can, you know, tighten that, shorten it, and you can put the light up and down, as you can see over there. Now this part here, you loosen this, see how it's been down? Once it's loosened, you can move it around anywhere you want. You pretty much get 360 degrees once you, I mean, the actual part there is 180 degrees with the tripod ball, but because you can twist this, it effectively becomes 360 degrees. If I bring this up, there you go, there's the key light, and there's really not much to this here. You know, the only real options are on and off and reset. And reset is something you'll maybe have to mess about with a few times if you're having any problems with it syncing with the app and syncing with the control center. But apart from that, you really don't have to do anything. There's not much you have to do. And yeah, you can see it swinging all the way around there. I kind of have it normally around that kind of setting and then tighten it up. But as you can see, you know, just setting it up like that, I've got that one there. Obviously, I'll adjust this later. But from here, with the Stream Deck, I can turn that on, off. I can try and get both in the same shot here. All the way down. And that really is, we'll switch back to the main cam, that really is one of the greatest things about the Elgato Key Light. You know, it's not perfect, it's not as perfect as people are making out. There are some limitations about this, and this is an expensive solution. It really is, when you consider that it's twice the price of my older lights, and it doesn't come with the stand, etc. Doesn't come with the versatility that a regular tripod stand would have. You do have to connect with Wi-Fi, and if you get problems with your Wi-Fi, then your Elgato Key Light won't work. And you will occasionally get problems with the Stream Deck as well. But despite those limitations, I really do like the Elgato Key Light. I didn't get this sent for free of charge, so maybe I'm a little bit, you know, more critical of certain things, such as the fact it's more than twice as expensive. If I can talk, twice as expensive as my older lights. It is more expensive than my older lights, and I do realise that the limitations of it, as well as the versatility, is you know, the Wi-Fi not working and things like that. But on a day-to-day basis, the Elgato Key Lights are fantastic. You guys will probably know by now that a big part of my recording setup, if I switch back to my crude, I'm actually enjoying this so far. It's a little bit different than what I normally do. Sorry, that's my monitor. I'm going to the wrong camera. Okay, so if I take a step back, and I'll pull this out of the way. So this is my whole recording setup, and I've got my overhead camera over there as well. You know, I can put my hand down and review things there. But this whole setup is really geared towards quick videos and recording live. And the key thing with all of this whole setup, this whole recording setup, the key thing with all of this is that it just works. I'm not messing about with things. I'm not adjusting things. When I come in, every single time I come in here to record, I click record and I start recording. And that's what I like about this. I set this up, and as long as I don't have any Wi-Fi problems, any problems with the Stream Deck, these things just work. The lights don't take up any more room. And when I'm recording, or even if I'm sitting playing games, I can sit and adjust the lights. And you do pay a premium for that functionality. So can I recommend the Elgato Key Light? Yes, I can. I don't think there's anything really else out in the market. I can't think of any. I can't think of any other lights in the market just now that do this, that have this kind of functionality and this kind of integration with your recording setup. I really can't think of that. With lights like that, they are more versatile, but they do need a little bit more setting up at the start, as far as you have to manually set it up. I realise that's not a big thing. It doesn't sound like a big thing, but when you're constantly changing things and changing your recording, you know, during live streams, etc. I can change the lighting if it's too bright and things like that. It saves me a lot of time, and that's why I was happy to pay the premium. These are more expensive, but I was happy to pay the premium because they save space, The lighting is really good. As you saw, I've got them at like 3 or 5% some of the time, and you know, these can go super bright, and they go, you know, was it 2,800 up to 7,000 Kelvin as well. So they're not perfect. They're not as perfect as people make them out to be, but I am extremely happy with it, and I wouldn't rule out buying the Elgato Key Light Air in the future as well. I think for the most part, despite the fact I do have some criticisms of this product, I think for the most part Elgato have done a fantastic job, all the way from the presentation to these stands. As I said though, there's the one thing I don't like about the stand, I forgot to mention that before, just to kind of talk about it again, but you know, you've saw the ball head here. The one part I don't like is this part. This is like a weak part. The actual ball head thread, the tripod thread here, the actual tripod thread here, the 1/4 inch tripod thread, it's not the greatest, and it's not the greatest in the actual device either. It feels cheap. It doesn't feel strong enough. So that's probably a weak part of the design, and that's something that I'd like to see them improve. But I guess I'm kind of nitpicking at this point, you know. For the money that I've spent, I am happy with the purchase. I've been using them every single day for 6 months. So yes, I can recommend these guys. But if you're going into this, do not to buy these, do not go into this blind. Be aware that there are other options that are more versatile in some ways, and not always, but in some ways. And be aware that other lights and this kind of, you know, quality of lights, this kind of market, other lights tend to be a little bit cheaper. So if you look on eBay or Amazon, or even go to one of the Chinese websites, you will get lights like this more than half price, probably about 40% of the price. If you're looking to buy 2 of those lights, you could get this for about 40% of the cost, or even less than that, about 1/3. It really is that much cheaper. And you could get these lights, and it's the same brightness. Your videos will look the same as far as lighting goes, but you do lose the versatility of the Elgato Key Light, and that's why they charge a premium. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you've got any questions about it, please do leave a comment below. I'll do my best to answer them. And perhaps in the future, I might end up buying one of those Key Light Airs as well. But yeah, I can recommend these. For all their negatives, I think overall they've done a fantastic job, and the package is good. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, take care.